right, welcome back to Homework with Miss Pittman. We have a new week, and so we have new homework this week. And so we're going to go ahead and dive in and get to work on these. This homework should be relatively easy compared to those in the past, but I'm still going to go over every single one today, and then I might dial back a little bit as we go throughout the week. So the first problem on Monday's homework, this one right here. It says find an equivalent fraction. We talked about this last week, but when you find an equivalent fraction, all you have to do is make sure that whatever you do to the top, you do to the bottom. And so you just pick a random number. It doesn't matter. I always either pick 2 or 5. 2 is really easy to multiply by. So I typically pick 2. And so I'm going to multiply each number by 2. And so 2 times 2 is 4. And 6 times 2 is 12, and those are equivalent. And I can do the same thing for the second fraction, 2/5. I can multiply by 2, top and bottom, or you can change it up and pick a different number. 2 times 2 is 4, 5 times 2 is 10, and those are my equivalent fractions. We know they're equivalent because if you cross multiply, 2 times 12 is 24, 6 times 4 is 24. They're the same number, so you know they're equivalent. Same thing here. 2 times 10 is 20. 5 times 4 is 20. They're same number, so they're equivalent. So that's one way you can check yourself. The next problem we have, sorry, it looks a little bit blurry, but it should be clear on your paper, is find the sum. I'm not going to go over this problem because you should be able to count and find the sum here. You know how to add, you know how to carry, things like that. You just need to remember to drop that comma down in the appropriate spot, and then you should be able to do this one on your own. So I'm going to let you do that one on your own. The third one, we have a word problem, and it says Marvin has 4 books to read for homework this week. If he reads 2/3 of a book each night, how many nights will it take him to read all 4 books? So we read it once. Let's go back and reread it and circle the information that we need this time. It says Marvin has 4 books. Has is a really big key word right here. I have 4 books to read for homework this week. If he reads 2/3 of a book each night, how many nights will it take? We're looking for how many nights will it take him to read all 4 books. So if I have 1 book, 2 book, 3 book, 4 books, and it says he reads 2/3 of a book each night. So he's breaking the books up into thirds. So we could do that. We could break them into thirds. And we know they're thirds because they each have 3 sections. Right? And so each night, so the first night, he's going to read 1/3, 2/3. There's 1 night right there. The next night, he's going to read 2 more thirds. 1/3 of finish that book and start 1/3 of the other book. That's another night. Then he's going to finish the next night, finish that book up with 2/3. That's another night. And then he's going to come and he's going to start a new book and read 2/3 of it. There's another night. The next night, he's going to finish that 1 book and start 1/3 of the other book. There's a night. And then the last night, he finishes up his books. So how many nights did it take? Well, you can count. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It took him 6 nights to read all 4 books. So that's one way you can do it. You can draw a picture. If you don't know what operation you're really working with here, it's always better to draw a picture. Now, the operation we are dealing with is division. You're taking something that you have and you're dividing up the work. And so you take what you have the 4 books. The 4 books are what's being divided. And it's being divided into 2/3, just like we did in the illustration above. So when we divide fractions, remember we have to keep the first, change the sign, reciprocal. 4, change the division of multiplication, reciprocal. And before I can go any further, I've got to put a magic carpet and a 1 under here. And now I can multiply straight across. 4 times 3 is 12. 1 times 2 is 2. This is an improper fraction because the top is greater than the denominator. So I can read this as 12 divided by 2 is 6, which is the same thing we got up here by drawing the picture. So really, you could do it either way. All right? Beautiful. All right. So when we find the quotient, remember we do does McDonald's sell burgers? Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. This is not enough. This right here is not enough workspace for this problem. So you need to flip over to the back and work this problem out. Okay? So I have 6,789 being divided by 33. So when I divide by 33, 33 will go into 6 0 times. And then 67, I'm thinking if I double 33, I get 66. So I'm going to do 2 times. 2 times 3, 33 is 66. I'm going to subtract and bring down. Now 18 is smaller than 33. So it'll go, 33 will go into 18. 0 times 33 is 0. Whoops. Multiply, subtract, Miss Pittman. 18 minus 0 is 18. Bring down by 9. So this is where I need to start thinking, how many times will 33 go into 189? So I knew 2 gave me 66. Let's try, my magic number is 5. So let's try 5 and see what 5 does for us. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 again plus 1 is 65. Let's see if I can just go one more. 33 times 6. 6 times 3 is 18. Carry my 1. 18, 19. That ends up busting it and almost being 10 times or 10 more than what we need. So we have to come back here to our 5 and do 165. We'll subtract. 9 minus 5 is 4. 2. There's nothing here. So we can't just end with 24. 24 is our leftovers, and we don't do remainders. So we've got to add a decimal, add a 0, bring down our 0. So now we have 240. 33 times 6 got me kind of close, so I want to try to bump it up a notch and try 27. Whoops, not 27. My bad. I want to try 33 times 7. 7 times 3 is 21. 21, 22, 23. And that's probably going to be my magic number for this round. So I have 231. Subtract. Bring down another 0. All right. 33 and going to 90. Well, we tried twice, gave us 66. So let's see if we do 33 times 3. It's going to give me 99, and that's going to be too much. So I'm going to have to stick with 2. 72 times 2, or 2 times 33 is 66. Subtract. And I end up with 240 again, which is going to put me right back in that same situation up here. So that means I'm going to start repeating these two numbers. Because I would end up doing 240. I would put 7 up here. And I would get 231. And then I would subtract. And I would get 90. And then I would get 9 and bring down another 0. And then I would try 2. And then I'd have to do 66. And so it's just going to repeat over and over and over again. So my final answer ends up being 205 and 72 hundredths. Okay? All right, moving right along to the next one. We have find the sum. Remember, when we add or subtract decimals, we have to line our decimals up. And then we fill in the blank with our numbers. And then we just add. Remembering to drop the decimal down we can just add, and we get our answer. This is probably one of the easiest ones you have on your homework tonight. Same thing goes for when we subtract decimals. So when we add decimals and when we subtract decimals, we have to line our decimals up. And then you fill in your numbers. So I have some gaps here. What do I put in these gaps? That's right, a 0. And now I can subtract. 0 minus 1, I can't do it. So I have to go next door. He has nothing to give me, so I go next door to 9. 9 becomes an 8 and gives to the next door neighbor, and he becomes a 10. Now 10 can give to his neighbor, and life is all good. 10 minus 1 is 9. 9 minus 0 is 9. 8 minus 8 is 0. Drop my decimal. 3 minus 8, there's more on the floor, so I have to go back next door. Get 10 more. 3 plus 10 is 13. 8 minus 13 is, or 13 minus 8 is 5. 6 minus nothing is 6. It's really important not to go all the way and start cross-canceling. You should cross-cancel as you go. That way you don't get so wrapped up in cross-canceling or borrowing that you forget. All right, what is the LCM of 3 and 6? Remember, anytime we see LCM, we should think the slide. And what does 3 and 6 have in common? Well, 2 won't work because 3 is not even, so I'm going to try 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. And to find the LCM, we have to draw our L. And do you remember what we do inside the L? That's right, you have to multiply. So if you finish it up, you should get 6 as your LCM. Find the absolute value. This one should be super duper easy for you. How do I find the absolute value? Well, absolute value is always positive. That's right. So your absolute value here should be 45. And then here we have order these from least to greatest. I would think about these as money. So I would come in and add zeros behind so I can think about it as money. So now I have $1.20, $1.02, negative 25 cents, $6.30, and negative $5.10. So if I want to put these in order from least to greatest, which would be the worst deal? Least would be the worst deal. So the worst deal is going to come in with our negatives. We have owing 25 cents and owing $5.10. Well, which would be the worst to owe? The worst to owe would be $5.10. Okay, that would be the worst. So he would be the smallest. Then the worst, next worst would be owing somebody a quarter, 25 cents. And then you can just think about it in regular terms. Which is smaller, $1.20, $1.02, and $6.30. And so $1.02 is smaller than $1.20. Then we have $1.20, and then we have $6.30. And so from now, here we've gone from all the way from least to the greatest. All right? If you watch this video and you watch it all the way through, let me know by drawing smiley faces up at the top. I hope you have a great afternoon, and I'll see you tomorrow.